Cyril is prime thief. Under the ANC, South Africa is uninvestable. And anyone still voting for the ANC is a moron. The ANC has turned from this liberation organization into a racist, socialist, kleptocratic, incompetent, evil, mafia, cartel organization. It is beyond revolting what the ANC has become. And anyone still voting ANC is to blame. So we are looking into the abyss. We are on the edge of a collapse. And I think we're never going to fix this country. You know, it's like an addict. Until the addict is crawling around on the floor going, help, they're never going to get fixed. My problem with the ANC is when they hit rock bottom, they keep digging. I mean, these are fundamentally stupid and evil people. Cyril Ramaphosa will go in history as the most useless president this country has ever had.
I want to introduce and welcome a very, very good man with me, Rob Hersov. Thank you so much, Rob, for
Thanks, Leon.
coming on.
What a pleasure to be here.
I want to say, before we start, Rob, thank you for everything you're doing. I saw you coming up. When was it? I think December, I saw you. And I said to my wife, we were driving in the car, I saw you, something just erupted in me. And I don't want to say a vision, or I'll say a what do you call it? I had an impression that we're going to see one another. And I told my wife that in January, and I had the strong impression just to really begin to push politics, because I feel the next election is going to be really pivotal. It's going to be the precipice of something new. But I want to thank you for what you did, your voice, going all around the world and speaking unapologetically. Not worrying about race and color, and not bowing to and apologetically trying to talk, but really just to speak out. You don't have to do it. I mean, you're a success in your endeavors.
I think my wife probably would rather I wasn't doing what I'm doing.
Yes.
I did tell her I was going to take a break, so I've got to at some point very soon do that. But I promised you I'd be here, and
thanks so much.
I'm happy to be here.
I was wondering why you said yes, because I saw on some podcast, I can't remember, or a show, I think it was Biz News, where you said you're going to bring it to an end, your podcast.
Well,
and I was like, we're not going to get you on it.
A number of people said that, Leon's a great guy. This is a fantastic show. He's a man of God. He's a man of faith. And Ronaldo, called me prior and yesterday to say, Rob, you must do it. This is a good thing. So
I'm not that loved. I'm either loved or hated in the country.
Oh, mate.
I'm really either loved or hated. We went viral with news, and so people either hate us or love us, but I think that's a good place to be.
It's the only place to be. It's if you've got a moral compass.
That's right.
And if you're following the road that you believe is the road of truth.
Yes.
You must tell it like it is.
Yeah.
Just speak, and it comes from the heart, comes from the head, comes from the soul.
That's right.
And you be judged on that.
Rob, for a lot of people on here, they might not know you. So I know a little bit of you just from being in South Africa, but what is your history? How did you get into, and then eventually, how did you get into the world of politics, or what made you think about it? But where did you start off? What was your family?
I don't feel like I'm in politics in a weird way, but I grew up in 1960. I was born in 1960 in Johannesburg to a very wealthy family. My grandfather, Bob Hersov, who's long gone, founded Angloval. And Angloval, you guys are too young, but Angloval was one of the big mining industrial companies in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and into the 90s. And Angloval had a big mining business and a big industrial business. And the mining side had everything but diamonds. So we were in copper and iron ore and manganese and gold, coal. And the industrial side was Iron J, Rainbow Chicken, Five Roses, Baker's Biscuits, Bowman's, Consul Glass, Anglo Alpha. I can go on for a long time. It was all part of the Angloval group.
Okay.
And my grandfather founded it with his best friend, Slip Menel. And then there have been 3 generations of Menels and Hersovs. But in the 90s, a decision was made by my father, Basil, who turns 99 in August.
Wow.
99.
Wow, you got good genes.
Yeah, my mum was 91. They're in Johannesburg, in the house I was born in.
Yeah.
A decision was made. The Menels took the mining business. The Hersovs took industrial business. The Menels then kind of tied up with Patrice Motsepe. So African Rainbow Minerals was Angloval Mining.
Okay.
And then the Hersovs continued with Angloval Industries, and then eventually over time sold off and broke it up. And, it's very hard with 3 generations of 2 families to have continuity of a business. You know, the Chinese say from clogs to clogs in 3 generations.
Sure.
But in the English world, it's, you know, they say the first makes it, the second generation builds it, the third generation loses it.
That's right.
And it's because you don't have the same drive, you don't have the same hunger,
Sacrifice.
you don't have the same ability, sacrifice. And 2 families make it even more complicated. So the third generation, my generation, I think there were 15 Mennels and Hersovs, and it doesn't work. You know, it just doesn't work.
Sure.
So the family's separated, the company's separated. We moved on. And of my generation, the Hersovs, my brother lives in London, my younger sister lives in London, my older sister lives in North Carolina. They're gone.
Sure.
They're gone. So I'm maybe the last Hersov in South Africa. And what I did was you know, Ridge, Michael House, UCT, 2 years in the army, infantry officer. And then I left the country in 1985. I worked for Goldman Sachs, New York, went to Harvard Business School. I worked for Rupert Murdoch, great media baron, as his right-hand man in New York. And then I joined Johan Rupert with Richemont for many years and helped him build a big media business in Europe. And then I went and became an entrepreneur, and I had failure, success, and I've been in aviation, technology, finance, sport, and media. And I came back to South Africa in 2017. I was only going to stay for 2 years because I said to my New Zealand wife, who said, forget Joburg, we're living in Cape Town. I said to her, you know, we'll only be here for 2 years because under Jacob Zuma, the country is finished. Finished. And let's go and enjoy a final 2-3 years of this country. My parents, you know, the name, Hersov name, still well known. But I'm not going to get involved in any projects that have a long-term horizon, involve the government, or have revenues in South Africa. And I'm not going to get involved in politics. Guess what happened? And then Cyril Ramaphosa got elected. My wife says, what does this mean? And I said, well, the trouble's still coming. It's kicking the can down the road. Cyril's a different animal to Zuma. The ANC is still going to destroy this country. And we're on the edge of the precipice now. I mean, Cyril has been a disaster.
It's busy imploding big time.
And Cyril is spineless, useless. He's not a leader. At best, he was good at reading the COVID news on, you know, my family. He's a newsreader at best, if you give him the words to read. But he'll turn up late for it.
Even for the White House meeting, he turns up late.
What an idiot. I mean, what an idiot. What's in his mind? I mean, he's not even a businessman. He was given those businesses. So let's get on to Cyril. So I've had success, I've had failure, you know, I made a lot of money. Most of my wealth's overseas. People say you shouldn't say that, but it's true. Most of my wealth is overseas.
I know we're going to get into that also.
And I can leave anytime I want. I can be the last chopper out of Saigon, or I can leave anytime I want. I don't have to stay, and I don't have to put up with this nonsense, and I don't have to be doing what I'm doing now.
No, for sure. I mean, that's why we're grateful. And I'm going to also get into, or I would like it just to get into touching on finances, and, you know, because I don't want to go off the flow now. I want to get back to you, but just, you know, I'm telling people, especially we have a lot of business people around us, they don't know what to do. You know, the Rand is losing 11% a year through devaluation of the Rand and inflation.
I think it's more than that.
It might be more. That's just a conservative number. So people are literally becoming poorer. And I did a whole thing on ChatGPT. I put my whole portfolio of my assets in, and I said, okay, what do I do if I want to invest in South Africa?
Invest in hard currency, overseas. Gold and Bitcoin.
ChatGPT literally said, sell everything now and put it in Switzerland. No, but I'm moving my stuff to my finances to Swiss franc. You know,
listen, you've got to be in hard currencies. I do think when South Africa turns post 2029, it's going to grow like a rocket. If we can get the right people into power, whoever they are, that are free market, Judeo-Christian, pro-West, you know, libertarian, small government, bringing foreign direct investment into this country, where a lot of the people that have left start to return, this country will grow like a rocket, 5 to 10% growth a year. It's so easy to fix.
It's very easy. Very easy.
It's so easy to fix. I can fix this country. We can get back to 3, 4, 5% economic growth, 500, 600,000 jobs a year. But the ANC don't want that. They don't want that.
Look, we're going to get to that now, but I want you to speak. Don't hold back thinking it's a Christian crowd. You know,
hold back.
This is a.
I'll try not to swear.
They're not. A lot of people. Ronaldo didn't fully understand when I was speaking to him. I said to him, "I'm not religious." He's like, "What do you mean you're not religious? You're a Christian." I said, "No, look, religion means." A set of rules and laws without any relationship with God and trying to be self-righteous. That's being, and there's a lot of religious Christians, not them that are watching. So you can really say as it is needed. But you how did you then, you came back here in 2017.
Yeah.
What pushed you to begin to speak out?
So I've always been speaking at conferences about business. I've always enjoyed public speaking. I'm one of the very rare people in the world that love getting up and speaking. And when you ask people, they've done research all over the world. The greatest fear people have is death. The second greatest fear is public speaking. So a vast majority of people don't feel comfortable, scared, don't want to stand up and speak. I love it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
My dream, my magic wand, is to be able to speak to everyone in the world simultaneously, so that they understand me, for 2 to 3 minutes. I know what I'm going to say. I'm not saying it on air. I'm not telling anyone, but I know what I'm going to say to them.
And it might be possible very soon, eh?
Very soon.
Yeah.
Very soon. You're right. I love you saying that. Your lovely daughter Scarlett is working on AI over there.
Yeah. She's 10 now. That's one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, what's the future?
10-year-old son,
also 10.
Yeah. They have a fantastic future. I mean, can I tell the story? I can't. But I heard a story of a 10-year-old child.
Yeah.
Came up with her dad asked her, I can't really tell the story about giving it away, but her dad, she's very good at a certain sport.
Okay.
Dad said, "What's your biggest frustration?" She said, "The equipment, carrying it. My arms are too small." So she went into a ChatGPT or Manus or one of the AIs and said, "This is my sport. I'm this age. I'm this height. I can't carry the equipment." And it came up with a device for carrying the equipment.
Come on.
And then she said, "And what fabrics can I use?" Bang. "And how can I advertise? What should my brand be? What does it look like? Where can I put it?" Bang. "How can I make it manufactured? How do I patent it?"
Boom,
and
start a business.
Put the patent in for her. She then went to one of the biggest sports brands in the world in that sport.
That's crazy.
And they've signed up international rights to the product. 10-year-old. So, Scarlett, you need to have a business up and running, making money by next year. And that's what I've said to my 13 and 10-year-old kids. We were driving up to the Cederberg last week on Wednesday. And I said, "Put down your devices." My wife and I said, "Okay, there's no such thing as a bad idea." Okay, that's the deal. Come up with a really stupid idea when no one's allowed to say stupid idea. Come up with an idea, a problem that can be solved. A problem, any problem. And so the kids came up with mad, fun, crazy, and some very good ideas. And we wrote all of them down, and we're putting them to AI and saying, "Does this exist? So how is this problem to be solved? Does it exist? What could the product be? Which company is going to be disintermediated by the product?" And so if I can speak to your audience, there's no such thing as a stupid idea. AI is going to be smarter than everyone put together.
Yeah.
But humanity will still have certain things that AI will never have. And the creative angle is going to be where we win. And the West, the Judeo-Christian West, will always win because of that.
Yeah.
Because we have faith and because we are creative and, we're allowed to let our creativity go. Whereas in the non-Judeo-Christian West, it's autocracies, theocracies.
That's right.
And they control your thinking, control your ability, and control your creativity and freedom.
Yeah.
The good guys will win.
Definitely. Well, it always is.
Sorry, I went on a bit of a roll there.
No.
What was the question?
Easy. I can't remember. I think, how did you get into politics? I think so.
I like public speaking.
Yeah.
And I like debating. I like panels. And I like, my dream is to do stand-up comedy, but that's still to come. My wife's begging me not to. And I went to a business conference in the Drakensberg.
Yeah.
And it was just after the KZN riots. When was that? 2021?
22 or 21? Yeah.
And there were 3 days of speakers. And my topic was South Africa investability. Okay? And the day before, there were 2 incredible speeches. One by Musi Maimane, one by Jason McCormick. I went to my class. He went to my
Yes.
class. And the McCormick family have a lot of shopping malls in, more challenging areas.
Yes.
Townships
That's right.
on the edge of, And so they had been attacked. I mean, the 2021 chaos,
The malls
civil unrest,
closed, yeah.
I think 4 or 5 of their malls were burned to the ground, 2 or 3 damaged. And in his speech, he said, I never went to the army like Rob did. But in the 3 days, 4 days, 5 days of civil unrest, I had to learn military strategy on behalf of all my employees and defend our shopping malls. And he said it was the most horrendous few days of my life. And I thought about it. I thought, South Africa, how can this happen? How can it be like this? And then you hear the police did nothing, the army did nothing to protect people. And you had the average citizen, taxi driver, Indian shopkeeper, white guy, black guy, colored guy, standing together, shoulder to shoulder, with weapons, defending one another's property against these wild,
I remember, especially
crazy,
even in Hillcrest area,
Correct.
they were all standing up and protecting their
correct.
property. Yeah.
And they stood shoulder to shoulder with no help from the police and protected their businesses and protected one another. And I just thought to myself, how can our country come to this? How come the government doesn't? We knew members of the government were behind the whole thing.
Yeah.
Found out later. And it really upset me. And the next morning I was the first speaker. Okay, I get up very early. So and I was walking around thinking what I was going to say. I didn't really prepare speeches, but percolate. They percolate. Great word. And I walked up there, and basically the first paragraph I said was, under the ANC, South Africa is uninvestable. Uninvestable. It's fixable, but it's uninvestable in the ANC. And anyone still voting for the ANC is a moron. There was like 6-8 million people I insulted. And then I just went hard. And then I named Fikile Mbalula. I said, did you see him on BBC Smart Talk? What a moron. I was the first guy to call the ANC morons. The first guy to say Futsak ANC.
Yes,
it's not a swear word, is it? Futsak ANC. The first guy, publicly. And I had people like Bridget Radebe, the Radebe family, said, how dare you can't say that about the Liberation Army. And I said, but it's true. These are morons, and they are evil, and they are destroying our country.
Yeah.
And it's not that I was the first to say it, but I was one of the most prominent people to say it.
Okay.
With a lot to lose.
Yes.
And since then, almost no businessmen have stood up. The South African corporate community are cowards, colluders, or they've been captured.
Yeah.
They say, we do a lot. We do a lot of, charity. We work behind the scenes. We meet Cyril. We have white papers. We belong to BUSA, LUSA, NUSA, whatever these organizations are. But for the man and the woman in the street, do you ever hear these big corporate guys say anything?
Yeah.
A few have. Neil Froneman, Michelle Leroux, Gareth Ackerman, Alan Pullinger.
Okay.
Big business people.
Yeah.
And then there are the amazing people like, Prince Mashele, Moletsi Mbeki, and podcasters and lawyers and media people.
Yes.
But big business, silence of the lambs.
Obviously, because they are benefiting it somehow.
Either that or they're scared.
Scared, yeah.
Or they are captured. And when I say captured, the big businesses have the PIC, state-owned enterprise, as big investors.
Yes.
They have the unions. They have DEI and all that cultural Marxism. So if you look at the board of directors, you've got like 2 or 3 people of color with dodgy
DEI.
titles like, personnel technical assistant, like some nonsense title, sitting on the board. And then you've got the CEO. And if the CEO isn't the founder of the business, they're an employee.
Yeah.
The CEO of Investec, whatever color they are, is an employee with an employment contract. And I guarantee in the employment contract it says you're not allowed to speak out in policy.
Okay.
So they're captured.
Yeah.
And there I am calling them cowards, colluders, and they're sitting there going, Rob, what can we do? But they can do something. If big business, if taxpayers had a revolt.
Big
business
That's
had a revolt.
my whole thing.
If taxpayers had a revolt.
But how do we get to that?
Goes down.
Because I've been calling for, I can't call for, I'm too small. But how does one start something like that?
But you're not. Because your voice is a beacon of light, as is Willem Venters, as is Ronaldo Gous, as is Sihle Big Daddy, Gareth Cliff, Byron Shepherd, Kuhle, Sama Sabit, concerned citizen.
Yes.
There are now more and more of these beacons of light, voices. And all of us need to hammer home.
How do you start a tax? Is there a possibility for a tax revolt to come?
Willem Fence has been working on it. He's a smart guy. He's been working on it. But, I'm going to get quite tech now. There's a thing called a DAO, a decentralized, autonomous, DAO, decentralized, autonomous organization. I don't want to get too out there. But it's a kind of automated organization where you put the rules in place, and then if certain conditions happen, certain things happen.
Okay.
So what you need to do is sign up enough taxpayers and PwCs and corporates so that if certain conditions are met, i.e. enough people have signed up, on a certain day, you do not pay your taxes.
That's right.
And so how can they jail 10,000 people?
Of course.
And the government collapses.
And people need to understand.
But then again, if you have the government collapse, then what happens?
Yeah. But I think, I don't want to...
Be careful what you wish for.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I think people, especially South Africans, because we've been so oppressed, not only one race group, all race groups have been oppressed. It is a communistic country masked in a bit of democracy and socialism, but people are oppressed. I mean, I have people here from America, friends from America. Whenever I go to the States, you might have seen, if you land in the States, if you speak to an American, there's a sense of liberty, security and identity about them, which many South Africans don't have because it's been robbed from them. And that's because of oppressive government. So people in South Africa are very scared to stand up, and they don't understand a government is supposed to serve the people. We should question government. We should always question compliance and not be compliant in everything.
I think it's more than that. So on America, the greatest country in the world, in my view, you can go and live in Germany, you don't become a German. You can go and live in Japan, you don't become a Japanese. Did you go and live in America?
Become an American.
You're an American.
Yes.
The American dream is the greatest brand, greatest concept, greatest opportunity on the planet. You move in, get your green card, you're an American.
Yes,
Bang.
yes.
There's one thing people forget about South Africans is they say we're resilient, we always come through, we get to the edge of disaster every 5 years and then we survive. But I think South Africans now have PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So when I was courting my wife in New Zealand, I fell in love and I'm staying down there. And I remember it was like page 2 of the New Zealand Herald, page 2, and it said, "Boys knock girl out of kayak." And I thought, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. On page 2 in South Africa, it wouldn't even say 84 murders today. Okay? It's just disaster after disaster in our magazines and newspapers. And I think we have PTSD. Does anyone remember the Zondo Commission? Does anyone remember it?
That's right,
2,300 people were indicted. Okay? People were named. Corruption, criminality. It was horrific.
Yeah.
What's happened?
Gone.
Nothing.
Gone.
Nothing.
And they ate the money.
And they ate the money.
Yeah.
So every single day there's murders, rapes, farm attacks, stealing, corruption, kleptocracy. Your head spins. Right. You have PTSD. You think, I just can't take it anymore. So I'm just going to not think about it and just live in my bubble and get on with my life. And that's a problem. Because the ANC can get away with anything they want now because people are just so punch drunk.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you can't take it anymore, what do? You don't go on the street. You leave the country. That's the problem.
And your average person can't just back up and go.
They sort of can, but it's a hell of a lot easier for the wealthy have gone.
Yes.
They're $32 billionaires born in South Africa.
Didn't Oppenheimer close down now as well? I saw.
He closed down the Brenthurst Foundation.
Yeah.
But they don't live here anymore.
Yeah.
They live in Henley, England.
Yeah, that's right.
Johan Rupert lives in England. They're gone. They're gone. They pretend to be South Africans. They're gone. $32 billionaire born in South Africa, living overseas, don't live here. And they're not investing here anymore.
Yeah.
I don't blame them either. I mean, you don't either. Your investment philosophy is not invest in South Africa.
Yeah, no, of course.
I do think there are opportunities here, but you've got to have a small percentage of your portfolio.
Oh, you have to be outside.
You cannot. You've got to have a majority of it in hard currency, offshore,
Crypto.
or in yeah. Well, I'd go further. I'd say just Bitcoin, but we can debate that.
Yes. Well, I've got Bitcoin at XRP, and my XRP jumped very nice.
My wife's got XRP.
So I made, how much? $16,000 the last few days.
Well done.
You know, so it obviously went. So I got some in there. But
it's
we're going to get into the finances thing because I think it's going to help a lot of people. People don't know they're getting poorer.
Yeah.
You know, I think I don't know if it's from 2010 or the last 5 years, I saw an article that said South Africans are 50% poorer than what they were. It's much more than that if you look at the statistics.
In 1971, I think that's correct, the dollar and the rand, 1-to-1. Now look at 20. You're 20 times poorer and you've done nothing about it because it's government printing money, it's kleptocracy, it's inefficiency, it's lack of economic growth, everything. By the way, August 1.
Yeah.
How far away are we from that?
Tariffs.
When's August 1?
2 days. What is it now? What are we now?
It's a week. It's just over a week.
Yeah, a week away. Then you're going to see.
And is it 30 or 40%? So it's 30% tariffs.
40, yeah.
But it's another 10% for
Which
BRICS.
the media lies about.
For BRICS.
Yeah.
And that's coming. That's in a week.
So
the ANC don't care. They go, we'll sell stuff elsewhere. They're so stupid. They don't realize this is going to absolutely smash. A country that has no economic growth is going backwards rapidly, particularly if you have 2% population growth.
Yes.
You get poorer every year.
Yeah. I was in a meeting with Davy Riots, and he was speaking to me about the economy, you know, and we'll be airing him on Thursday. And he said that he reckons we're going to sit with 0.7% growth.
Not even.
But I don't think more. I said to him, I think 0.3. Because I'm not an economist, but I mean, I'm just... But there's no way because we got tariffs, then we have AGOA, then you got this $400 million lawsuit apparently that's coming. Yeah. Not sure if it's going to the ANC,
then
to the country,
Sanctions,
or to Cyril.
Ronnie Jackson, congressman.
And then my concern is what he said is a big possibility. What's the possibility of full sanctions on the country? He said we're very close to it.
I don't think we're going to get full sanctions.
Or financial instruments.
No, I think individuals are going to be sanctioned.
Okay.
SDN, Magnitsky, asset freezers on lovely people like
That'll be
Cyril,
nice.
Eddie Pandor.
Yes.
Can't wait.
It'll be very nice.
Can't wait. The sooner they put them on the lists, the better. Be a nice change, actually. They've been getting away with an almost murder. They've been getting away with
murder.
Horrific behavior for let's call it 20 years. They now need to get punished.
You know, we have a lot of internationals on here, and the lie of Mandela, we don't have to go too big into it, but just to touch on it.
So his legacy is finished.
But the lie of him that was lied to the world, you know, I was just thinking, I mean, his wife starting necklacing. What human being...
She's a monster. Winnie Mandela was a monster.
Can put a tire over another human being's neck.
No, Winnie Mandela was a monster. I mean, you drive on Winnie Mandela Drive. That's a demon.
Yes.
Demon woman. You know, ding dong, the witch is dead. That's what I say. Americans all know that.
And guys, we are touching a little bit on negative. We'll try to end it on a positive, but we have to give you this current state of affairs. You know, because I had this problem with the church world, and you know, I became kind of like a bit infamous in the church world, and then just through a lot of stuff, we were doxxed with Media 24, and they did a whole thing on us. And
ANC bootlickers, News 24. Yeah,
and we know they hate anything that's Judeo-Christian values. They don't like the churches. But I saw during 2020, very few churches stood up, but a lot of churches were very scared. And I compared it to America. Because I looked at America when the whole 2020 thing broke out, the whole COVID thing, and I understand the laws and the masks and so on, but we understand conspiracies behind it as well and the way they pushed it. And the cops were raiding the churches. They came to us. Luckily, they didn't do anything with us. Oh yeah. They came with guns into quite a few churches, but not one person, not one pastor wanted to start. There was maybe one or two that stood up. Where in America, all of them stood up and they refused to shut down. But you don't find that patriotic spirit in South Africans. So we stood up, but we were not big at the time, you know. And I remember we had a service the one day. We're not allowed to meet, and but we carried on meeting anyway. Our people didn't want to wear masks. They refused to wear masks. So we're like, okay, how do I tell 600 people to wear masks and they don't want to. So I had to figure out on the way, say, listen, guys, if the cops come up, and I said on live, it's okay now, they're not going to do anything now. Yeah. But I said, if the cops come up, we're going to flash on the screen and you put on your mask just in case. We had to go through all those things. Cops came to our service and they asked our security what's going on. That was when there were no meetings supposed to be. We had 600 people jam-packed in a building. And the cops just left us for some reason. But other churches, they did go in with guns. But I was standing up vehemently against it. But I didn't see many people want. And then I saw the patriotic spirit not there, or people are scared or captured.
So I went on a podcast tour of America. I was on the Dave Rubin Report.
I wanted to ask you about
Patrick Bet David, Charlie Kirk, Lara Logan, a lot of the Epoch Times.
Yes.
And what amazed me was how little they knew about what was going on here. I don't blame them. I mean, there are how many countries in the world? 200?
Yes.
55 in Africa. How does any foreigner understand what Africa is, let alone South Africa, and what's going on? And they remember kind of apartheid ending, Mandela coming in, and then everything was solved. Let's focus on the rest of the world. And all of a sudden, it's been a big wake-up call for, people in America, Europe, Australia, whatever, what is actually happening here and how bad it is. That the ANC has turned from this liberation organization into a racist, socialist, kleptocratic,
Marxist,
incompetent, evil mafia cartel organization.
Yes.
It's beyond revolting what the ANC has become. And anyone still voting ANC is to blame.
Yes.
To blame.
They keep them in power. But on the question of going to the tour, I wanted to ask you this. What is the global perspective now?
Well,
are we going to see a continuing of a pushback or not?
Well, America has, thank goodness for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He's the one and only international leader that stood up and said, this is unacceptable, what's happening in South Africa.
Yes.
The Europeans have been pathetic, weak, socialist, overregulated. I mean,
yes.
He went there and said, you're going to pay your fair share for defense spending.
Yes.
They weren't even making the 2% of GDP mark. He's got them to 5%. They're going to have to defend themselves.
Jeez.
Donald Trump has done an amazing job. Some things people may not know. Before he was became president, he said, I will close the border. He's closed the border.
Yeah.
There were 10 to 15,000 people flowing across a day. Now, zero.
That's right.
He's now throwing people out. And these moronic Democratic judges are trying to say, this rapist and murderer deserves to stay in America. Think about that. Everybody said inflation's going to go through the roof.
No
Inflation's under control.
Yeah.
They said the stock market's going to collapse. Stock market's at its absolute high today.
Yes.
Employment improved. Jobs are up. It's every single metric in America is better and stronger.
That's right.
Against all odds. And then you look at things like the military. They were struggling to recruit enough people for the military in America. Okay, they need 50,000. Bang, they got them. In one day, they had 10,000 people. Because of leadership. Because of good leadership. And then on the international front, everybody knows, what he's done in the Middle East.
Yes.
He's flattened Iran without losing one American life. Okay? He hasn't solved Russia, Ukraine yet.
Yes.
But he gave it a run. Now he's turned hard on Putin. China's on the back foot.
Yeah.
And he solved, let's not forget, India and Pakistan were almost at war. He stepped in there, halted that.
Congo stopped.
That's right. I can go on and on and on. And he's only been president for 6 months. Look what he's done. He's the greatest American president this century and maybe the last 100 years. He has been amazing. And may the Republicans rule for the next 12 years.
What was Patrick Bet David? You met him, this is people we watch all the time, but what was their perspective behind the scenes after the show? Did they?
Amazed. So David Rubin, he's the first one I was on because I was at the ARC conference in February and I kind of said to him, I'm coming on your show. I walked up to him and he went, okay, why? I said, because you're going to talk about South Africa. It's really important.
Yes.
And he just trusted me, put me in a studio, 10 minutes. 3 weeks later, he hadn't released it. I called this guy, Phoenix Glenn, great guy. I said, Phoenix, trust me, South Africa's big now. Get this out. Went to 1.3 million views. Bang, 10 minutes. Elon Musk retweeted it to 73 million people. And then all of a sudden, the podcast is like, hang on a second.
Wow.
South Africa's interesting. And Ernst Roots has done a super job.
Yes.
He's been Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, Tucker Carlson.
Yes.
I've been on Patrick Bet David Rubin twice.
Yes.
Charlie Kirk,
That's right.
and then various other ones.
Were you up with Charlie Kirk?
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
No,
Okay.
I did Charlie Kirk.
Oh, you did live on
a Zoom.
On Zoom, that's right. Yes.
David Rubin's coming to South Africa.
Wow.
He's coming to South Africa in October. You're the first to know this.
So it's not okay. Well,
so we're going to, and Patrick Bet David is going to come as well this year.
So it hasn't stopped. The pushback hasn't stopped.
No, it's bigger
because
now.
It felt like it stopped a little bit.
No. It's bigger now.
Okay.
And then I've done 2 on Sky News Australia.
Yes.
They're doing an amazing job.
Yeah, they're great.
Rita and her team. So what we've got to do, us podcasters, us media people, the new media, is we've got to fight back against legacy media, and we've got to amplify our voices, and we've got to add other voices. So there are a lot of young people who should be launching podcasts.
Talk to us about Truth Report, because I think, we're going to get into ideologies and how people think, but the way to change this nation or ideologies is by media. We're going to have to replace the media. The only way is podcasting. Media 24's lying. I mean, the propaganda, it's like I'm living in that movie or that book, 1984, this year. They ramped up everything. I mean, every article is this white man doing this,
Correct.
this black man, and they
So to your audience,
racism.
okay, where's the camera? My camera, that one?
Anyway, this is your camera.
So
You go.
cancel your subscription to News 24 now. Okay? Cancel.
I said it on
And
Sunday.
make sure if you're going to follow Daily Maverick, take only the free version. Don't give them any money. Okay? Do it now. Okay?
No, you have to. They have to. They're already losing
So
subscription.
Byron Shepherd, Morning Shot, you've got to cancel it too, because he says he only subscribes so that I don't have to. Cancel the subscription.
This Media 24 doesn't like this, but there's a hack to get into. Somebody released it on X today. There's a hack to get into the articles without paying. All you do is you drop the link in ChatGPT and tell me, what does it say?
But I don't want to read this.
It tells you beyond the link.
So they did an article on me 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They did, the factual incorrect lies, whatever. I didn't read it, so people told me that Rob Hersov put forward on his American podcast tour, and they picked Epoch Times, and they said, he said this, it's not correct. Said this, it's not correct. Epoch Times fact checked everything I said anyway. But what's more amusing about it is in the News 24 article. Just go to the comment. If you're still subscribers and you're going to cancel later, go into the comments. All the comments were supporting me and anti-News 24 in their own article. So we've got to do that.
Yes.
We've got to launch more podcasts. And for young people who want to do podcasting in the evening, in the morning, and things like that when they're not at work or don't have jobs, get your device, put on a light, and record and get it onto YouTube.
Yes.
Let's have everyone speak up. Everyone speak out. And where the idea for Truth Report came is Donald Trump didn't appear on legacy media. He did on Fox News, but he avoided CNN, MSNBC, CBS. And he did that incredible 3 hour with Joe Rogan. And I listened to the whole thing. Okay, I didn't even have it on speed playback, which I normally do.
That was classic. It was good.
And it was an amazing, after those 3 hours, I felt I really got to know Donald Trump. It was amazing. And I realized with this buddy of mine, Nick French, that this is the future. Podcasts like yours, Morning Shot, Concerned Citizen, let's pull everyone together onto one platform, create more podcasters, more content, and amplify the message we're putting out. And that's the Truth Report.
Yeah.
We raised quite a bit of money very quickly. People were keen to get behind it.
That's good.
And we have a studio in Cape Town, Gareth Cliff studio in Joburg.
Okay.
Setting up a studio with Ronaldo and Byron and PE.
Yes.
And so we go. And we're just producing, distributing, building it. And if I can ask your audience to go to Truth Report and just click the subscribe button.
So guys, please go click on that, go follow it. I followed as well, Truth Report, and it's really no nonsense, accurate.
So we operate by the 5 Fs: faith, flag, family,
fact, I think.
Facts, What's the fifth? Yeah,
I remember Ronaldo told me faith,
freedom.
flag, freedom. That's right.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes,
I
yes.
get it. I was going to remember which is on which finger. So that's the basis of Truth Report.
Yes.
And all the investors, we said to them, look, we are going to make it a for-profit. We are going to try and return your money and make a profit.
Okay.
But it's not, don't invest for that reason. Invest because you want to make a difference in South Africa. Yeah. And we'll be very careful for dollars and cents.
We need it because, like I said, if I read News 24, it's like I'm reading the book in 1984. The audacity of the propaganda is shocking. I mean, they literally said Cyril had a victorious meeting.
How did they get in bed at night? How does Adrian Basson and Peter du Toit look themselves in the mirror?
I don't know.
And think they're journalists? They are ANC bootlickers.
Yes, yes.
You know, I sent, by the way, I shouldn't mention this on air, but I'm going to. So I did my podcast a week ago on Truth Report on ANC, ANC and News 24. And I sent a link of it to Ton Vosloo and Koos Becker. I like Koos, by the way. I think I've known him a long time. He's a very good guy, and he's very distant from this whole thing. But he did put Adrian Basson in place.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's true.
Why did he did that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he believed in him then, but Adrian Basson is a dreadful human being.
So are they? How are they controlled by the ANC? What do you think?
They give money to the ANC. They give money to the ANC. Remember, DSTV has a monopoly pay television license.
Yes, yes.
To keep that, they've got to be nice to the ANC.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of big pay TV players that will ever come into the market, compete for the rugby rights and things like that. So
and they want to keep bailing them out.
They have to keep, I mean, multi-choice is starting to disintegrate.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason I subscribe to it is watch rugby and cricket.
Yeah, no, of course.
But streaming services are going to provide that, and then multi-choice is gone.
Yeah.
So MTN's in big trouble because of its Iran links and the Naledi Pandor, Cyril and Mcebisi Jonas.
Yes.
That stock price might take a hammering. And I think Naspers is in serious trouble.
Okay.
Because of the links to the ANC and what they've done in South Africa. Not nice people.
What are you foreseeing with the political landscape as it is now, with all these parties coming in? Or let me ask it like this rather. Yeah. We got the municipal elections coming up. It's 27, eh?
It's supposed to be 26, but it's going to be February 27.
27, yeah, that's right.
You heard it here first. It's not a prophecy. It's a prediction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff going on. But, do you foresee that there's a possibility for South Africa to ever go federal?
It has to.
I know it has to, but,
It has to.
What is the possibility?
I mean, the power of America is, national, federal, state, municipal.
Yes.
They've got push decisions down. Under apartheid, we had Pretoria making all the decisions, and look where that got us.
Yeah.
Under the ANC, Pretoria's made all the decisions, and look where that got us.
Yeah.
We've got to get rid of Pretoria and push decisions down to provinces and cities, where the decisions can be made for the good of the people that live there.
Yes.
I mean, the Western Cape is run by the DA, and it's the only province that's run properly and profitably.
Yes.
Can't people see the light and say, well, maybe the DA know how to run a country,
right.
and maybe the ANC do not? I mean, guys, come on, wake up. Jordan Hill-Lewis and Alan Winde, superb, are pushing for the devolution of a lot of powers down to provincial level, to the Cape, such as running the rail services. Okay? They have, I think, a budget of 10 million rand per year over the last 2 years to train railway engineers and people to run the railways.
Okay.
Predicting that at some point soon, when things really collapse, the Western Cape will run its own rail network. Can you imagine a train from Paarl, Stellenbosch, Cape Town on every half an hour, click, picking up people and dropping them?
Yeah.
Okay? It'll lift a huge amount of congestion from the roads. And they're visionary enough to see that that's probably going to take place, but we need further federalization.
Yes.
And Ernst Roots correctly says, Rob, please don't keep telling people to leave the country. Okay? What we need is people to stay here, but we need to change the dispensation. We need more push decisions down to,
Look, I mean, I'm also on that thing. I want to leave, but I know I can't because I believe in a calling. I believe I'm called here. We're busy building now 120 million rand building up in Centurion. So we broke ground now this month. And I'm thinking it's right in this time when Cyril is doing whatever he's doing. And it's affecting, and we live on, as a ministry, it's on donations, that's about it. There's a few business avenues, but very little. So it's on the giving of people in a third world country. This is how ridiculous South Africa is.
We didn't used to be third world.
Yeah, sorry?
We didn't used to be third world.
I almost want to say fourth world, but third world country. To get 120 million to build of people's free will offering and giving, where the banks don't give any mortgages or bonds to the churches, nothing. Doesn't matter how much assets you have, doesn't matter how much surety signatures you have, they just don't do it. In the United States, 3% bond on a church building, they can build it. So we're sitting in a country where you're supposed to, we actually need it, can't have it, we have to build it cash. But now we're investing, we're busy. So I wanted to leave. Not I wanted to leave, I know I kind of like confessed to all our viewers, but the thought came in like it would be nice, to go start over somewhere else.
Where would you go?
I know, the only place I would go is America.
Me too. So I just got back from a 2-week holiday in Australia. My wife's a New Zealander, so to see her parents, we fly over there, and then they and the family fly up to Fiji, Australia. I couldn't live in Australia. I spent 2 weeks there. I almost pulled my hair out. Okay. Yeah. And New Zealand's even more boring than Australia. It's like, I could last 4 days in New Zealand. I love their rugby and I love their people. What a dull country, It's all politicians and regulators and lawyers, and you can't say this and you can't do that.
Yes.
Australia's not as bad, but it's pretty bad. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I want a red pill state in America, Florida or Texas.
No, look, I love America, but I can't go. We called here. We got a great work going here.
I feel the same.
And I think what our goal is Rob, okay, we're building up there. They're building here in Cape Town. So we got the name Encounter, and we're really spreading it all over. I believe that Christianity is a way to change the ideologies, which is demonic in South Africa. We have a church that's not white, not black. It's all cultures. It's open to all races.
88% of South Africans are Christian.
Supposedly.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Why supposedly?
Well, what's the ratio? We 64 million, 65 million around there. You got ancestral worship all over. So I think that number comes from pre-1994. I think so. And then people have a thing of where they say Christian values rather than Christian, but it's not showing in the landscape. It's not showing anywhere. So if I felt more safer in a place like Zimbabwe. I know we spoke about it a bit earlier, but I came from Zimbabwe last week, and I know there was no oppression, there was no apartheid there, but I felt safer there. So we were sitting in the middle. Who was with me? David, you were with us. Yeah. In the middle of the CBD.
Yeah, literally.
And safe.
Yeah, I agree. So safe from petty crime, safe from hijacking and robberies.
And violent crime.
But not safe if you divert the money that the government and generals are stealing. Then you're not safe.
So they're obviously still running by a dictatorship.
Yeah.
But I say, I heard you also say it, that if we could get a friendly dictator, I make a joke. I'm like, can we have Putin? So, I'll even be happy with Putin because at least he takes to a degree care of his people.
And he's smart enough to know that if he keeps the economy growing, he and his friends can steal more. Our guys are so stupid, the ANC. They're just stealing it blind and destroying the economy.
I also say they're going to steal.
Zuma understood. Let the economy grow, let it grow, and steal for the next 100 years.
Yeah. Look, they're going to steal.
This Ramaphosa's idiotic bunch are just stealing it blind, but I think they know they're running out of time. The reckoning, the encounter is coming.
But, so our goal is to really just spread around the country, broadcasting, plant. We're going to plant in every city. And but that's a way to change the ideology. And obviously with broadcasting and podcasting, it's just a bad time to build. That's where my thoughts come like, now you invest 120 bar in this nation, but I know it's for a cause, not for what we gonna make of it. It's not about getting any money back. But I want to ask you this, that one thing I battle with, I get onto X makes you crazy. I realize it makes you depressed, even if you just go through it. But what is this thing with the ideologies in South Africans, and I don't want to say black South Africans because it's also in white South Africans that, let me say left, and I use an analogy. I say, especially when I speak to our church, because it's sensitive if you get into politics, I'll say, listen guys, there's left and there's right. If you look at any nation that is right, has principles that are working. Any nation that is left doesn't work. If you look in the Bible, you have God's left hand, which is judgment. You have his right hand, which is blessings. You have the goats on the left. You have the sheep on the right. Everything is left and right. But people somehow choose on the left. But the moment they touch left, there is a demonic oppression, a deception that comes in them, where you see the moon as yellow, they'll say the moon is blue. That's how ridiculous and contradictory it is. And you can't break through to that reality. What is it? Is it critical race theory? Is it education? Is it the media? Is it is it
divide and
cultural?
rule? It's divide and rule. I mean, what's the ANC doing right now? Now that they're desperate, they're losing power, is they're trying to divide us. They're trying to racially classify us again and then blame colonialism, whiteness, and apartheid. It's been 30 years they've been in power, and yet they still need to oppress a minority. They're in charge. They run the country.
And they keep saying the minorities doing better than them.
Anti-minority rules. Yeah. And, this guy, JJ Tabani, in the Mike Sham show last week, was saying, white people still control 68% of the economy. That's nonsense. That is wrong statistics.
Propaganda,
I mean, he's a nice enough guy. He ain't that smart. Sorry, JJ, I'm calling you out. I mean, they come up with this stuff, then land, these people own too much. These people are, too many of the corporate chieftains are white. And all these stats that are not relevant, but it's to divide us, to make, why do they focus on, Palestine and Russia, Ukraine, to take the focus off their own failings here? Let's look at the problem over there because they're failing here.
Yeah. And now they want to help, what is it?
But it's turning against
Lesotho. Now they want to help financially Lesotho. And I'm thinking, what a joke is this?
I mean, anyway.
But you're right with the divide and conquer.
Yeah, I'm getting wound up here.
You're absolutely right, because, racism
is a pigment of the imagination.
Yes, and it's for the poor. It's a decoy that they use, that the poor use, and intellectually low will use racism. That's it. So if you have a billionaire, you want Rupert and Cyril in the same office and they're friends, there's no race, there's no color there. So it's a thing, obviously it's a ploy they're using to distract.
Completely. I tell you what, there is no difference based on skin color. There isn't. But there are differences in culture. There are some good cultures and some bad cultures.
Yes.
There are some good religions and some bad religions. And there, you can go down that line, okay?
Well, I mentioned it with Ronaldo yesterday, and we can be frank about it. You got two main oppositions of religion. That's Christianity, whether it's Judaism or Jewish Christianity, and Islam.
Islam was developed 600 years after Christianity.
Yes.
As an antidote to Christianity.
That's right.
Everything within the doctrine of Islam
is contradictory.
Is to destroy Christianity and to take over the world.
But look what they do.
They
multiply, they give birth.
It is not a religion of peace.
Yeah.
It had its heyday, 100 years ago.
Yes.
It was based in science and acceptance, and it was secular. But radical Islam is taking over the Islamic world and is not a religion of peace. It is dangerous. The greatest threat to humanity is not China.
Look at
it's
UK.
A radical Islam.
Look at UK. I think they said they're now pushing to get married to 9-year-olds.
That's sick.
They're sick. In the UK.
I mean, a lot of my Muslim friends, and I have some, and I'd love to mention them on the show, but they might get into trouble if I say this is a great guy and a great friend.
Yes.
Say to me that their religion has been captured by bad people. So my Muslim friends are saying that Islam has been captured by bad people, and they say it to me. They know it, and they're too scared to stand up.
Sure.
But their reckoning will come. I'm not worried. Islam has within it the seeds of its own destruction. It will collapse.
Yes.
Trust me, it's not going to survive. It's got too much wrong and evil within it as a religion for it to survive.
No,
they won't win. And the good Muslims will eventually come to the fore. and recapture their beautiful religion, which it can be, but the bad guys are in charge right now.
Do you foresee that there will be a loosening of race laws, like
BE has to collapse. BE has to end. Black economic power. It's too damaging. I mean, this incredible Professor Gumedi came out with an analysis that R1 trillion has been stolen by 100 families. Now we know who they are: Motsepe, Ramaphosa, Ngoashang. I can go down the list of 100 names. They have stolen the country blind through BEE.
Yes.
But it hasn't benefited previously disadvantaged people. And, the only intelligent thing Julius Malema's ever said, I was with him at a lunch in London, only time I ever met him, was he said, and it was 10 years ago, he said, BE will never work. Empowering elites is never going to work. What it should be is that companies should give 30% to their black, colored, and Indian employees. Empower the people that work for you. Make them shareholders. Bring them into the system. And he was right. That should have been the case 30 years ago. But now that the 100 families have stolen their R1 trillion,
can't do that now anymore.
Guess what they're going to do? They're going to say, BE should now be for the workers.
After they've
stolen their R1 trillion. Watch.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Well, that act anyways, what is it? The Employment Equity Act, has it gone through? I know they're trying to fight it, but
disaster with 50 companies of 50 or more.
50 or more employees.
I mean, it's gone. South Africa's gone.
Yeah.
Americans and Martians must look at this country and just go, they're insane. They are insane.
Yes.
I mean, you cannot get a more idiotic, moronic, low-level group of people than Cyril and his ANC cabinet. I mean, they are.
That's what I'm saying. You look at
history's going to look back and say, how did South Africans not go on the streets and throw these people into the fiery pits of hell where they deserve?
But it's like, you look at them, their decisions, like I said, it doesn't make sense because the only thing that it comes to is they are intentionally destroying it. That's the only conclusion it comes to.
They don't care about South Africa. They don't care. They want 28 million people on social
and they're
grant.
Celebrating about it.
Exactly. They want 28 million people entirely dependent for feeding their children on the government. They want their cronies in the ANC, the elites, the BEE and the cadres to be reliant on them for their stealing their money. And everyone else, they don't care about. They don't care about this country or anyone's children's future. They are there to steal.
Sure.
And Cyril is prime thief.
Yes.
How these big white businessmen support Cyril,
I don't know.
Makes me ill. I'm not even going to name them, but you know who they are.
Yeah.
They hang out with them. They're seen with them in meetings.
Yes.
What are they doing? And the national dialogue. Let's get on the national dialogue. How can Robbie Brosen, Bobby Godsell, and Sia Khaleesi be on that national dialogue? It's going to cost us up to 700 million rand or more.
Yeah.
It's a way for the ANC to steal. And they are sock puppets for the ANC. They should resign. I have enormous respect for Sia. I like him. Bobby Godsell, what an extraordinary guy.
Yes,
Robbie Brosen founded Nando's. But what are they doing on the national dialogue? What are they doing? They should resign. And there's that nasty anti-Semite MTO Suleiman there. I mean, how can they even be in a room with him?
Yes. And, what disappointed me with the White House meeting is it was great with switching the lights off, but when Retief, Ernst, and Johan were supposed to talk, Retief got one sentence out that his parents, it was unsafe for his parents and they had an experience, but he felt intimidated. I could see it. He felt it's like, I don't want to be too frank right here, right? I don't want to say
who was scaring them? Who was scaring them?
Well,
why were they intimidated?
Let me give you my view. This is allegedly, okay? But what I saw, and this is why I was trying to figure out, okay, who's running who? Because I saw Ernst not saying, Ernie not saying anything. And literally Trump is asking them to talk so that they could speak. Like Trump was saying, can you guys talk, so that they can mention the problems. They didn't mention the problems, so it looked almost like Trump was disappointed in them because they were not speaking up. Then we got to Johan, and I saw Johan putting his hand on Lamola, like really like, you know, like I'm in control here. You know, he was like, Malema is no longer like this. And it looked to me like he was controlling it.
Why was he there?
And he wasn't invited by Trump, as far as I know. So Cyril, you could see it with a conversation. But it looks like he was like showing everybody, listen, I'm running this meeting.
Why was he there? Do you know, I believe Adrian Gore was in that group in Washington, but didn't make it into the final meeting, got bumped by the golfers. But why were they there? Were they there to defend Cyril? Looked like it.
Yeah.
Not nice. It was an embarrassing...
Yeah.
You know, what a farce that meeting was. What a farce. And we've got tariffs arriving in a week. What was Cyril? He's had 90 days to do something. He's done nothing.
That's what I wanted to get to. Like, are they intentionally not doing anything? You know, how can you...
Care.
They don't care.
As long as they can keep stealing. And by the way, if you have a functioning democracy and a functioning economic system, it's hard to steal. Because all the pillars of democracy work.
Yes.
Judiciary, media.
Yes.
You know, if you break things down and create chaos, it's way easier to steal. They want the chaos. They want just to melt down, steal as much as possible.
You know, Dawie Root said something. He said,
look at Zimbabwe. It's got no economy left.
Yeah.
But all the people that wanted to steal have stolen everything blind.
Yes.
They want to do the same here, ANC. But not the ANC. Those evil, satanic monsters that hang around Cyril and in the background.
Dawie Root said, you know, an economy by automatic or by nature does grow. And he was sharing that.
People get up in the morning and
you have to intentionally destroy it to make it not grow.
So it takes 10 years to build a great business, give or take.
Yeah.
Okay? You might get lucky in 2 years.
Yes.
But in general, every day, getting up, grinding, sleeping on the factory floor, you'll build a business in 10 years. Okay? 10 years. Takes 6 months to 12 months to destroy it. So if you look at Eskom and Transnet and SAA, it took 20, 30, 40, 50 years to build these things. Okay? And even private businesses.
Yes.
ANC destroy them overnight.
No, overnight.
Sure. So we are looking into the abyss. We are on the edge of a collapse. And I think we're never going to fix this country until, you know, it's like an addict. Until the addict is crawling around on the floor going, help, they're never going to get fixed.
Yeah.
They're never going to get off the booze or off whatever they're on.
Yes.
They have to have, in themselves, hit rock bottom. My problem with the ANC is when they hit rock bottom, they keep digging. I mean, these are fundamentally stupid and evil people. You know, and we name them all: Gwede, Fikile, Cyril. I mean,
and then I mean, look at how they dress. I'm just, you know, it's like Gucci all over.
I mean, they're just horrific. They're horrible. Let's not talk about it. I won't sleep. This is why I want to get out of this public speaking. It just makes me. I'm not scared.
And I actually don't know.
It makes me angry.
I actually don't want to talk about that anymore. You know, I more want to talk about what is your outlook or what advice can you give to young people right now? I mean, her age but older, especially. I know we have everybody watching, but I think that obviously your minority group is more in trouble or have a bit of a fearful outlook.
So the only way to empower people in this country is education.
Yes.
It's not black economic empowerment, BBEEE. It's not taking from people that have and giving it to people that haven't. It's education. And apartheid failed, and the ANC has failed. We've got 2 generations of people undereducated or uneducated. Look at the cabinet. Half the cabinet are fundamentally stupid, and none of us would hire them.
Yes.
Fikile leading that crowd. So the only way to empower people is to educate them. And we spend a fortune on education in this country, and we get the worst results imaginable. Failed. But there's an answer, and it's here. You have every answer to every question on this device. But more powerful, AI.
That's right.
Why even go to school? If we can give Starlink to the country, okay, everyone's connected.
Yes.
Okay, everyone has the ability to teach themselves to learn. You can have the greatest professors in the world teaching your children in their language, in holograms. The teacher appears in the room and teaches them in holograms. Now, you can have it now. There's no excuse. And I always get a bit depressed when my kids, I'm sure you're the same, all the people are saying, when the kids are playing Roblox and Candy Crush and things, when they could be studying and learning. But I guess we were the same when we were kids. So the answer's all there. The answers, the solutions are all there, and they're coming fast. Technology is going to change this world.
Because I think people are short-sighted, they get fearful, they flee. I don't believe, like, it's all good for the refugee, but I never want to flee as a beggar. You understand? It's just not part of my mindset. So I'm a little bit against that thing. But I understand some people have their experiences. But in the next 8 years, AI, we can't even begin to imagine what's going to happen in 8 years.
So AI, come up with any problem in your life, or challenge that you think ought to be solved, okay? No matter how small, write it down. And then put it into AI. Say, this problem, this challenge, how do I solve it? Is there a company doing it? And all of a sudden you'll find this is a business opportunity. We're going to have kids, 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 15-year-old, at home with no employees worth $1 billion. Sitting there for you now.
Yes.
So get onto AI. It's free. I use Manus, M-A-N-U-S.
Okay.
Amazing. Other people, Grok 4, other Gemini, ChatGPT, doesn't matter. Get on.
But
all
look,
that matters is
I
the
use
prompt.
it morning to night. It is brilliant.
It's brilliant.
Yes.
And come up with ideas like, how do you solve this? What about this? Is there a better way to do it? Bang, all day long. Send me the ideas, okay? Put them on the show. And that's the way to change your life.
Yes.
You know, I can't give any other answer. Look, but I mean, for people that can't leave the country, and you've got to have a 9-to-5 job, you know, you're lucky you've got a job.
You're lucky.
Do the job, but in your sleep, in your hours, morning and evening, get onto AI and find that business opportunity.
Yes.
It's easier than you think.
And the globe is going to become is a village already.
Yeah.
You know, so I know a lot of people that got online jobs in Cape Town, paid very well. Friends of mine, people that were struggling financially, couldn't get anything for many years, got in contact with a international company, getting paid better than any South African is getting paid. So
well, you can work remote now.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's, I don't have, you know, I'm a big investor in Bitcoin. So I think Bitcoin's the greatest investment I can ever make in my life for generational wealth.
Yes.
My price target for this year is $150,000 to $200,000. It's at $118,000 right now. I think it's going to $150,000, $200,000 this year. My buddy Dion Ferree, who's way smarter than me, says $250,000 to $500,000 this year.
This year?
I think it's more $250,000 this year. It's going to go up 3 times. And I keep all my I keep all the. And all my Bitcoin stuff that I look at, you know, are saying it's going to happen in August. So I'm kind of, my buddy Stafford Marzi, who's the smartest crypto guy in this country, maybe in Africa, sold his Range Rover to buy Bitcoin. Because he turned up to a meeting in Joburg on Uber. I said, "Where's your car?" He said, "I sold it to buy Bitcoin." He's gone all in. Okay.
No, look, I am a big proponent for it. I mean, there's my portfolio, you know.
Very
so
nice.
the camera can't see. I mean, it's small, but I was only starting. But XRP, I really made good money.
My wife's also got XRP. I'm trying to get her to sell and stick to Bitcoin. Can I tell you why the difference between Bitcoin and everything else?
Yeah, explain to us, because...
So this is like the simple version, okay, to understand it. Like Betamax and VHS. Remember that? There's the Bitcoin blockchain and the everything else blockchain, okay? The everything else blockchain is Ripple, Solana, Ethereum, okay? All of those were created by human beings, are owned by human beings, are run by human beings, okay? There's a board, a CEO, and from one day to the next, they can change the rules. They can print 100 times more Ethereum, and the price will just collapse. Or they can sell their holdings, and the price will collapse. Even though they have use cases, utility, and there's some very good ones like Ripple, Solana, and Ethereum. Those are my 3 that I would invest if I wasn't a maximalist. They are controlled and run by humans. Bitcoin is not. Bitcoin is the only investment I've ever seen in my life uncorrelated to the world monetary system. Disconnected, okay? It's a code in your head. And I heard a story of a Russian who got called up to the military to fight in Ukraine, decided he didn't want to do it. Sold everything, bought Bitcoin, learned his codes, and walked out of Russia through a friendly country. Carry his wealth with him. Government can do nothing. It's 24 names, 24 codes. You've got to remember them or hide them. 21 million Bitcoin will only ever be produced. Okay, it's algorithmically,
Yes.
6 million have been lost. People that when they were worth $50 or $100, people didn't take it seriously. Lost their codes, forgot about them.
Bought a pizza with it.
Or bought the pizza with 6,000. Or threw away their hard drives. Some guy in Wales said he'd pay the municipality £50 million to be able to dig through the dump to find his hard drive. Because you saw that story.
Yes.
So Bitcoin is unique. Anyway, I won't bang on about it, but
No, I want us to touch it because it's brilliant, and I don't think people know too much of it.
And what's happening is adoption. So
yes, that's right.
There's MicroStrategy, Smarter Web, and MetaPlanet. 3 businesses. Have a look at their stock price. MicroStrategy, MetaPlanet, Smarter Web. I know of a similar business being launched in Australia, and Stafford Marzi and Warren Wheatley are launching the African Bitcoin Corporation on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. It's going to be a way to invest in Bitcoin in a levered way. Levered, you know what that means?
Yes,
borrowing.
Yes.
So they raise money, buy Bitcoin.
Yes.
The price is going up. They then borrow money to buy more Bitcoin. Then they raise more money to buy Bitcoin. And the flywheel just goes boom, 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 boom. And you get more value, more bang for your buck because it's levered.
Yes.
Okay? And you're buying it through a public security. You can do it in South Africa.
That's right.
So more and more of these companies are coming together, which means more people can buy in.
Yes.
But more and more companies are saying, why are we sitting on dollars and rand and euros in our treasury that is losing 11%? Dollar loses 7%, rand's probably 15% a year. Okay? Why are we doing that? We're losing money. Put it into Bitcoin. And more and more companies, states, institutions, and countries are setting up what's called strategic Bitcoin reserves.
Yeah.
So the most famous country is El Salvador.
Yes, they already have one, eh?
But Bhutan, little country in Asia,
yes,
pays its whole government salary bill because of the rise of value in Bitcoin.
Jeez.
If Eskom mined Bitcoin starting 4 years ago, they would have paid their whole debt and had 200 billion rand in cash in their balance sheet if they'd started mining Bitcoin 4 years ago. So I tell you all of these things because every single company, country, state, and institution is starting to think, maybe we should be looking at this Bitcoin thing. Maybe, and suddenly, Texas is going to launch a strategic Bitcoin reserve, or I'm making it up now, Montenegro, Poland, and then the price is going to go through the roof. And people say you can't give financial advice. Well, I've put money into Bitcoin. I believe in it.
When did you start it? Did you start long ago or
2 years ago?
You don't want to give the secret away.
Ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I'm a believer.
Yeah. Look, I had in, then I took out. I wish I could have kept it in, but now I'm just putting in.
And people say it's too late.
No,
it's not too late. Next year you're going to look back and go, I should have bought when the boys were telling me, Leon and Rob were talking about it.
I want to ask you one more thing is, with investments, with finances in South Africa, the average person don't know that they're getting poorer. They don't know the devaluation of the rand. They think there's just inflation. There's both inflation and devaluation. ChatGPT says conservatively it is 11%. That means not even a property is growing. I'm selling up everything. I'm selling all my properties, more property portfolio. I'm selling my house. I'm selling everything because, and then I'm obviously pushing it out of the country, putting it into at least just a 13-15% investment portfolios. And obviously we'll go with crypto and so on, but you're just getting poorer in this nation.
Yeah.
Is that the best thing for people to do, is to go offshore? A lot of people, obviously it's expensive. I
mean, Cape property has been superb. I know a lot of people who've been buying property in the Cape and then renting it out,
yes.
Airbnb, and doing extremely well. So you can find investments here if you live here, but I think it's quite dangerous what's coming. I really do. I still think the Cape is a very positive investment environment because it's well run, a lot of money here, and a lot of money, semigration coming in.
Yes.
I mean, if things really turn bad, the semigration is going to go through the roof. Because it's safer here than up country. You live in the Badlands.
I know, this is the land
we
of
live in the bubble.
Honey.
We live in the bubble.
Yes.
Yeah. So, listen, if you can get your money offshore in hard currency, that is the way to do it. That is the way to do it.
Yes.
Sadly, that is absolutely the way to do it.
Yeah. What do you see happening in the 2029? That was what I actually wanted to ask you. 2029 elections and the involvement of the USA.
On 2029, go to Prince Mashele interview with Sizwe and Pofu Walsh on SMWX and listen to the Prince Mashele interview. The first 2 minutes will blow your mind. He starts by saying, Cyril Ramaphosa will go in history as the most useless president this country's ever had. First sentence. And then he endorses Helen Zille. He says with a heavy heart. But go and listen to Prince Mashele. He'll talk to you about 2029. His view is that the ANC will be irrelevant in 2029. There'll be a whole blank sheet of paper. And I think he may be onto something. I met Gayton 4 years ago. Okay? A friend said, you've got to meet this guy. And I had a meeting with him. I had no idea why I was meeting him, who he was. And that half-an-hour meeting went for 4 hours. At the end of the 4 hours, I realized I'd met one of the most extraordinary people walking this planet. He's a man of God. He is a libertarian, capitalist, free market, rule of law, pro-Israel, ex-bank robber, general in the 26s. You couldn't write the story if you had to. I came from here, he came from here, other parts of it.
Yes.
And we believe in the same thing. I believe he is fundamentally good human being and potentially the benevolent dictator this country needs. And you know, he knows how to be tough. He will take on the gangs because he was a gang member and he knows how to deal with them. He will take on corruption because he knows he's fearless. And he'll focus on the underprivileged and disadvantaged and bring them up while not chasing away the wealth creators. He probably is one of the most extraordinary people I've met in this country. And there are a lot of them. Chris Pappas, Jordan Hill-Lewis, Helen Zille, I can go across the board, Corner Mulder, I can go across the board of credible politicians, credible business people, and credible human beings. But Gayton is unique. And, you know, he does go on a rant and rave about illegal foreigners. He does.
That's fine.
He comes across as a bit of a hardcore populist, and that scares people. But actually, you know what we need in this country? We need someone that just makes these decisions.
No, you need a dictator. You need it. But I was a bit worried because I saw siding up with the ANC. But I said to Ronaldo, it was not this last podcast, the previous one. I said to him, I hope that I think he is smarter than what we think, that he's doing it on purpose.
He's a politician.
Yeah, but he's doing it on purpose, you know, in order to get in.
Correct.
He's doing it on purpose.
A politician that isn't in power has no influence whatsoever.
Yes.
He knows that. The DA know that by staying in the GNU, they can make positive things happen. They're politicians. So I don't know if, you know, listen, I have a view on Gayton. I believe in him. He's an extraordinary guy, in my view. And he's converting.
How much percent are they now?
I think 3, 4. But I think if he took, realistically, I think at 5, 6, 7. I don't know.
Yes. Okay.
I think the EFF's going down. MK is probably stuck. ANC's collapsing.
Yes.
DA is improving slightly. And I think the fastest growing party in this country is the Patriotic Alliance.
Yeah.
And if you look at the municipals, they're winning them across the board.
Yes.
Scaring the hell out of the DA.
Rob, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Let's do a prayer. I know you're a man of faith, so let's have a prayer.
I'll pray for you now. And you didn't have to do this, you know, so I want to appreciate you for it. You didn't have to come here. But we appreciate you. We're watching you. And please keep on, or whatever you're doing. I think if you push the media thing, the podcasts, you know, if you stop the speaking, but you really put funding behind
Speak to my wife.
You put resources behind
Persuade
it.
her.
We can, behind podcasts, behind media to really make it top.
We can prevail.
You know, but let me pray for everybody on here. Thank you so much, Rob. Father, we thank you for the anointing. We thank you for your presence. I pray that your hand will rest upon Rob. I pray the unique calling that you have given him, the special calling, the voice you've given him, that in the days and the years to come, that he'll have a special encounter with you, that you'll meet the supernatural, that even as he's searching in his heart deep for meaning, that you'll give him purpose and calling and meaning. And I pray for a supernatural encounter upon him. But more than that, I pray for protection. The way you encountered me in a drug den with the power of God when I was down and out, and I never turned back from there. Let this anointing be on him. Let your presence be with him. I pray for dreams. I pray for visions, that you'll give him ideas, that his life is not short. His genes and his life will be very long. And we give you thanks. We pray for this country, that you have not forgotten this nation. This nation has birthed many men and women of God, and that it will continue to do so. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Rob, appreciate it.
Right.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys. God bless you.
God bless you all.